To Nicaragua now, where thousands of people are fleeing violence as the government cracks down on pro-democracy protesters. The UN Refugee Agency says around 8,000 people have fled to Costa Rica since protests erupted in April, and thousands more are seeking asylum. Hundreds of people have been killed in the recent wave of violence. Protesters are demanding President Ortega step down and hold early elections. So far, he has refused to do both. For more on this, we want to bring in Suyen Barahona Cuan. She is the president of the Sandinista Renovation Movement, a political organization, and she joins us now from Nicaragua's capital city of Managua. Suyen, thank you for being with us. With so many people and protesters seeking asylum in Costa Rica and other nearby nations, has that impacted the drive to continue protesting the Ortega administration? Are people still willing to demonstrate?
Of course, we are. We continue to mobilize every day. This past weekend, there were massive demonstrations in support of the mediators, which are the bishops and the Catholic Church, who have also been under attack by the Ortega government. The tremendous prices that we are facing is driving us even more to demonstrate and to pressure so that the Ortega government sits down to end the dialogue and to pressure him so that he can really talk about the agenda of democratization and justice in Nicaragua.
Now, in a recent interview this week, President Ortega called the paramilitaries volunteer policemen, which is something he had previously denied. What is the latest on these military forces patrolling Nicaragua?
Yes, Daniel Ortega, through the various interviews has changed his story so many times, it's really impossible to not see his disregard for the truth. In this past interview, he actually said that these were a voluntary police, and he is the chief of the police. So by stating this, he is accepting, the responsibility for those who these para-police have kidnapped, for the more than 350 people that have been killed by these para-police organized by the Ortega government, and all of the injured and all of the tortured also. In this interview, he also dared to deny the loss and the pain of families, of the more than 350 families, that their family members have been killed by those para-police groups organized by the regime. He altered the numbers and is trying to disappear and erase those statistics and those numbers and the pain that he has caused.
And Suyen, the Trump administration condemned the violence and the Ortega administration this week. How is the international community helping the situation there? Is this enough, or does more need to be done?
The people of Nicaragua, we will continue to put pressure by marching peacefully, by using all of the methods of civil disobedience in effort to reestablish democracy. But it is absolutely important that the international community continue to demand that the killing of the Nicaraguan people, the disarming of these para-police groups, and they have done so through the OAS, through also the UN, but it's also very important to continue also putting economic pressure on the regime. There have been governments like Luxembourg and Netherlands that have stopped their aid because they don't want it to be used to commit crimes against the people in Nicaragua. So we feel like it's absolutely important, fundamental, that the international community continues to condemn and pressure the Ortega government so that it complies with the recommendations that have come by the Commission on the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights and the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, which have to do with the respect of human rights in Nicaragua, the continuation of the dialogue, and also the holding of elections, advanced elections.
Suyen Barahona Cuan in Nicaragua, we certainly hope that things get better soon in your beautiful country. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk about Nicaragua, where nothing is normal and where there will only be peace when the Ortega regime steps down.